September 1941. Eastern Front. Somewhere in the endless forests and shattered roads of Soviet territory, the air smells of wet earth, cordite, and smoke. German soldiers move cautiously through the trees. Their rifles are raised. Their uniforms are soaked with rain and sweat. Somewhere ahead, a lone Soviet soldier has been captured. He is exhausted, wounded, outnumbered. 21 German soldiers surround him. Their weapons point directly at his chest. There is nowhere to run, no reinforcements, no escape. The prisoner stands silently as the enemy closes in. The Germans believe the fight is over. Another Soviet soldier removed from the battlefield. Another prisoner marching toward captivity. Then something impossible happens. The man begins to laugh. Not nervously, not desperately. He laughs as if the entire situation is absurd. The German soldiers hesitate. For a brief moment, nobody moves. Rain falls through the trees. A distant artillery barrage rumbles somewhere beyond the forest. The prisoner slowly looks at the men surrounding him. 21 soldiers, 21 rifles, 21 enemies. And yet the fear begins to change sides, because the man standing among them is not behaving like a prisoner. He is behaving like someone who has already accepted death. And men who no longer fear death become extraordinarily dangerous. Seconds later, the silence explodes. Gunfire tears through the trees. Shouts fill the forest. Men fall. Rifles hit the ground. Panic spreads through the German patrol. What should have been a routine capture turns into a nightmare lasting less than a minute. 45 seconds. That is all it takes. When the smoke clears, 21 German soldiers lie dead. One man remains standing. How does a single soldier accomplish something that seems impossible? How does a captured man defeat an entire armed patrol? Who is he? What drives him to laugh while staring directly at death? The Eastern Front creates countless stories of courage and sacrifice. Millions fight. Millions die. Entire cities disappear beneath artillery and fire. Yet some moments seem to exist outside the limits of ordinary war. Moments so unbelievable that they sound like legends. But this one leaves behind witnesses, reports, memories, and a question that survives long after the gunfire ends. What kind of man turns captivity into victory? What kind of soldier refuses to surrender even after surrender becomes inevitable? The answer lies far from this forest, far from the bodies, far from these 45 seconds that will become legend. Because this story does not begin with 21 dead soldiers. It begins with a man forged by hardship, war, and a refusal to accept defeat. And to understand how he arrives here, laughing in the face of death, we have to go back. Years before the gunfire erupts in that forest, the future soldier grows up in a harsh world. Life offers little comfort. Work begins early. Survival becomes a daily lesson. The countryside teaches endurance. Long winters teach patience. Hunger teaches discipline. Every hardship leaves its mark. When war arrives, millions answer the call. The German invasion strikes with overwhelming force. Entire armies collapse. Villages burn. Roads fill with refugees. The Soviet Union faces a catastrophe unlike anything in its history. Young men become soldiers almost overnight. Training is brief. Equipment is scarce. The enemy advances relentlessly. Yet among the chaos, certain men reveal something unusual. They remain calm when others panic. They move forward when others retreat. They refuse to surrender to fear. The Eastern Front becomes a world beyond imagination. Temperatures fall below freezing. Artillery pounds the earth day and night. Forests hide ambushes. Fields become graveyards. Every kilometer costs lives. Every victory demands sacrifice. The soldier learns quickly. He learns to move silently. He learns to survive with little food. He learns that hesitation kills. He sees friends disappear. He witnesses entire units destroyed. But he continues fighting. Again and again. Months of combat harden him. The war strips away comfort, certainty, and innocence. Only determination remains. By 1941, German forces push deep into Soviet territory. Encirclements trap thousands. Many soldiers face impossible choices. Fight, retreat, surrender. For countless men, surrender means survival. For others, it means something worse. The soldier eventually finds himself isolated. The battlefield around him collapses. Communication disappears. Support vanishes. Enemy troops move closer. The sound of battle fade. Then comes capture. German soldiers surround him. Their victory seems certain. The prisoner appears exhausted and alone. They do not understand who stand before them. Perhaps they see another defeated enemy. Perhaps they underestimate him. Perhaps they simply believe that no man would resist such odds. But war often rewards the unexpected. The prisoner watches, waits, calculates. The Germans relax. Some lower their weapons. Some move closer. The distance between life and death narrows to only a few steps. Then comes the laughter. The sound confuses everyone. Why laugh now? Why laugh while facing execution or imprisonment? The answer may never be fully known. Perhaps he laughs at death itself. Perhaps he laughs at the enemy's confidence. Perhaps he simply refuses to surrender his spirit. Whatever the reason, the moment changes everything. The Germans hesitate, and hesitation on a battlefield can be fatal. The prisoner acts. Violence erupts instantly. Gunfire explodes through the trees. Chaos replaces certainty. Men scramble for cover. Commands become screams. The confined space works against the Germans. Their numbers become a disadvantage. Confusion spreads faster than bullets. Seconds pass. One soldier falls. Then another, and another. The impossible becomes reality. The man who should be dead keeps fighting. His determination overwhelms surprise and fear. The German patrol collapses. When the shooting finally ends, 21 soldiers lie dead. The lone fighter survives. Stories like this spread quickly among soldiers. Some refuse to believe them. Others repeat them in whispers. On the Eastern Front, legends become a form of survival. They remind exhausted men that courage still exists. They prove that one individual can still influence events. The soldier becomes more than a survivor. He becomes a symbol, not because he seeks fame, not because he desires recognition, but because his actions challenge every expectation. Military history often focuses on armies, generals, and strategies. Yet wars are also shaped by moments involving a single person making a single decision. A decision not to surrender. A decision not to accept defeat. A decision to fight despite impossible odds. Throughout the war, countless acts of bravery disappear into history. Records are lost. Witnesses die. Entire battles vanish beneath larger events. But some stories survive because they feel larger than life. This is one of them. The Eastern Front continues to consume millions. Cities burn. Armies advance and retreat. Victory remains uncertain. But somewhere within that vast conflict, 45 seconds become unforgettable. Not because of tactics, not because of strategy. Because one man refuses to behave like a prisoner. Because courage appears where defeat should exist. Because laughter echoes where fear should dominate. Years later, historians continue examining these events. Veterans continue remembering them. Audiences continue asking the same question. How? How does one soldier overcome 21 enemies? The answer may never fit neatly inside reports or statistics. Because courage cannot always be measured. Determination cannot always be calculated. And the human spirit often refuses to obey the rules of war. The forest eventually grows quiet again. Rain washes away footprints. Weapons rust. Battles end. Empires fall. But certain moments remain alive. 45 seconds. 21 enemies. One laughing soldier. A moment that transforms a man into a legend. The gunfire finally stops. Smoke drifts between the trees. The shouting disappears. Only silence remains. Moments earlier, the German patrol believes it has captured a defeated soldier. The outcome seems certain. The war machine moves forward. Another prisoner joins the countless thousands already taken. Instead, the impossible happens. 21 German soldiers lie dead. One man survives. The immediate aftermath is difficult to comprehend. Witnesses struggle to explain what they have seen. Soldiers repeat the story from unit to unit. Some believe it instantly. Others dismiss it as battlefield myth. Yet legends do not emerge from ordinary moments. They emerge from events that challenge our understanding of fear, courage, and human endurance. The war itself continues. Millions still fight. Millions still die. Entire nations remain trapped in one of history's most devastating conflicts. Battles larger than this one dominate headlines and military reports. Generals plan offensives. Governments issue commands. Armies move across entire continents. But somewhere within that enormous machinery of war stands a single soldier whose actions refuse to be forgotten. Because extraordinary courage often appears in the smallest moments. Not in conference rooms. Not on maps. But inside a forest. Surrounded. Outnumbered. Presumed defeated. Stories like these become part of military history because they reveal something deeper than victory or defeat. They reveal character. This soldier receives recognition not merely for survival, but for his refusal to surrender his will. The battlefield strips away rank, status, and comfort. What remains is the individual. And in that moment, the individual proves stronger than fear. What makes such a person extraordinary? It is not strength alone. It is not skill alone. It is the ability to remain unbroken when every circumstance says defeat is inevitable. Most people never face such moments. Most never stand surrounded by enemies. Most never stare directly into death. Yet everyone understands fear. Everyone understands despair. And everyone understands the temptation to surrender when circumstances become impossible. This story reminds us that human beings often possess more strength than they realize. History remembers massive battles. It remembers generals. It remembers victories and defeats. But sometimes history pauses for a single individual. A man who laughs when he should tremble. A man who fights when he should surrender. A man who proves that courage can alter reality itself. The war eventually ends. The guns fall silent. The battlefields return to nature. New generations walk across places where soldiers once fought and died. Many names disappear. Many sacrifices fade. Yet some stories continue because they speak to something timeless. Not simply heroism, not simply war, but the refusal to accept defeat. The prisoner who laughed becomes more than a soldier. He becomes a reminder that courage can exist even in hopeless situations, that determination can overcome impossible odds, and that sometimes the human spirit proves stronger than fear itself. The war ends. The forest grows quiet.